Rock stars, Erich Andreas, your guitar sage here, with, of course, the guy that you know and love.
On my
Corey
channel.
Congelo. On your channel.
You came and kicked the doors.
That's right. I'm taking over Corey's channel today because he just created this incredible, two incredible courses here on beginner blues rhythm and intermediate blues rhythm.
Yes, sir.
And today we're talking about, you're going to show me some intermediate blues rhythm stuff, right?
That's right.
But before you do that, I want to let folks know that you've got a heck of a deal going on for this right now. The very first link below, hopefully we'll put it right there. So on both of these courses.
That's right.
So yeah. So
you can come host on my channel anytime.
Man, I would love
It's like you've been doing it for a little while.
I've been doing
You're
it
pretty
for a
good
while.
at it. Yeah. It's not like I haven't learned anything from you.
Thank you, buddy. Wow. And I've learned my guitar stuff from you. You're a beast.
Spread it around.
Yeah.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about, could you give us a brief about both of these courses and then show me some stuff?
Man, this is something I've wanted to do, so thank you for letting me do it with your channel and your Guitar Sage and all that. It's been really fun bringing this to you and to everyone here because I haven't been able to do it before in the sense of create a truly beginner and intermediate rhythm course that is essentially a blues rhythm course. So it's rhythm guitar being taught, but at the backdrop of the blues, lots of dominant 7 chords, power chords, bar chords, all that stuff. So in your beginner section, you can just pick up a guitar like a month ago, and you're going to be able to get something out of it, and then take that path all the way to the intermediate course. And once you get there, lots of new embellishments, stuff that really sounds bluesy, movable chords everywhere, ninth chords, riff-based stuff, stuff that's going to fall in line with some of your lead playing. Like the riff-based stuff will largely pull from basic pentatonic stuff. So I'm always trying to weave what you already know, what you're going to know, and put that together to really make a solid foundation. That's how I like to do it.
I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. Well, so we did a beginner's rhythm video just now on my channel. We'll put a link for that below as well. So if you're a beginner, check that out first. But now you're going to show us some intermediate stuff.
Yeah, and this is going to be, each course that I work on always kind of has a ramp up. Yeah. There's always going to be information that of this variety that a beginner will grasp, or you're always adding to the next thing essentially, And in this course, I had the opportunity to say, why don't I put in some riff-based playing, where things that have a static riff that keeps happening over all 3 chord progressions, chord changes. I think it's a lot of fun because you can also play it by yourself and it sounds like a tune. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people reach out to me for. Yes. Okay. So we're going to be in the key of A, and you play an A blues however you like. Okay. And I'll sort of dress it up with the A9 and the riff-based playing. And then I'll show you how I got there. Sweet. All right, here we go. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, ready, play. So you hear how that riff is kind of playing through the whole thing, and it creates a fun little melody, almost, if you will. Yeah. And it kind of goes against that A9 really well. So I wanted to make sure before we started, I got the neck pickup on. You can really, once you get used to playing these kind of things, you can then take it to the next level and start to dig in. Get your Stevie Ray thing happening. And when you're playing by yourself, that sounds pretty badass. So it's a great call and response rhythm as well. So you could set up a song like that. You could accompany somebody like that, whether it's you're playing more aggressively to make it sound like a song, or you're playing in the background. Anything like that will work. And you can hear how when you're just holding down more of a typical rhythm like you were doing, it sounds great together. Yeah, it really does. It's a great marriage. So let's talk about what I'm actually playing. Yeah. So we're starting out, I teach you this chord in the course. This is A9. And we're gonna start, this is tricky because you want to start with this C sharp note on the 4th fret, 5th string with your first finger. And I'll explain that in a minute. So let's build the chord. Skip a string, use your 2nd finger, 3rd string, same fret, good. Now your 3rd finger is going to go to the 4th string, 5th fret, and then 2nd string for the pinky on the same. And you play those inside 4 notes, and that gives you what's called an A9.
Yeah.
But there's actually no A in that chord.
Right,
The A is here. Okay?
Yeah.
So it starts with the chord tones, the 3rd, the flat 7, the B, which is the 9, and then the E, which is the 5th of the chord.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about in the course how we're actually building those chord tones, because I've often found when you throw an A9 at somebody who's a beginner or a late beginner, and then you start talking to them about theory and intervals, it's a little too much to handle.
Sure.
But if you go through the beginner portion, it really shows you what is a dominant 7 chord. So once you know that, you can start expanding.
Yeah.
So I always say, listen for the sound. The sound of the 9 chord is definitely jazzier than that.
Yeah.
You know, and you hear that kind of stuff all the time. We cover that as well.
Right, yeah.
So we're gonna start with that chord, and we can go 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So it's down, up, down, up. Yeah. Now what I might do is play through the whole blues progression that way. When you get to the D9 coming up, that's gonna be your D on the 5th fret, 5th string. And then you have an F sharp on the 4th string, 4th fret. And then you have a C on the 3rd string, 5th fret. And you can bar with your 3rd finger if you like. Or you can, sometimes I'll stack my pinky up underneath that.
Yeah.
And that gives
better
me
for muting that high E string there.
Sure, absolutely. So what's also great is that in the video we talked about keeping chords close together, even at the most beginning of stages. Because when we play that A9, so if you're watching my hand, you have the A9 to the D9, that pinky note, that E stays there all the time.
Sure it does.
And that's a great way to think going forward with harmony as far as that's concerned. And then of course you move that up a whole step to get your E9.
Yeah.
And then back down a whole step.
Yeah, it makes it very easy to comprehend when you're only moving a couple of those notes at a time instead of having to think all your fingers off. And another reason why I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks. Well, it's magical. It creates harmony within the chords without you even doing anything.
Yes,
really too.
Yeah.
So the next part is to kind of incorporate the riff.
Right.
And what can be tricky about this is I made the riff happen on an upbeat. I went 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Okay, so let's talk about where that comes from. If we're in the key of A, and if we've been checking out any kind of soloing or anything like that, we know that an A minor pentatonic over the blues is like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
It's just perfect together.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna take that riff as the cornerstone, the pentatonic scale, and make that sort of the cornerstone of this riff. But we're going to start it on this E note here on the 7th fret, 5th string. And we're going to play right up the scale. So, yes, exactly. But the trick of it is you have to wait a second before you do it. So if you're playing the rhythm, not a second, but an 8th note, essentially, for those of you judging me in the comments, we'll go 1, 2, 3, I'll play it down, up, rest. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 1 and 2. Yeah. Go to the 4 chord. So stop there. Why does it work? It works because when we have a D9, we have an A note that's actually in that chord. But in this case, we're not playing it. So a D7 or a D9 contains the notes D, F sharp, A, C, and E for the D9. So there's an A note that's always happening inside of a D chord. So if you start on it, you're still legal.
Yeah, right.
Or if you end on it, you're still legal in this case. Because it's the beautiful thing about marrying these chords with the pentatonic scale and then playing a riff-based groove is that you're going to hit notes that hit all of the chords.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So when you go to the E9, I went down then to the D9. I didn't even play the chord. I just played the riff. So from the turnaround, it goes bam, bam. And I play that over. Can you play the turnaround with me?
Yeah.
So starting from the E9, 2, 3, 4, D9. Yeah. Right. So the idea here is that you can get like a cyclical pentatonic riff happening in between your chords.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things you're going to latch on. There's a handful of them in the course in different keys.
Yeah, I find too that when you have some sort of motif or something that repeats like that, it always sounds more mature than just like following the chord around.
Right.
And just kind of tipping your hat to that one chord. Like it creates some tension there too.
Yeah,
it sounds more mature.
Well, there's also your ear is dragging you into the lick, out of the lick, into the chord change, the next chord change. Mm-hmm. So all this stuff is kind of happening while everybody's doing their job in the band or whatever. But this is also sort of one foot in the playing, what I like to say, playing the blues by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, because then you can go, you can make that as slow as you want. That's your little solo for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I did want to mention is that, yes, this starts on an upbeat, but it's the beat right before the song would start. You could even start it a 1, 2, 3, 4. You could do anything like that, and it would be a really fun lead-in, lead guitar type part. I just thought, man, we need to have that in the intermediate course for sure.
I love it. Yeah, that's good stuff. It's chock full of that sort
there's that stuff. There's putting different chord combinations together. Mm-hmm. I'm really proud of it for sure. It's something I've always wanted to do.
Well, we just watched some of those vids just now, and it looks amazing. And I know your content from the past, so it's going to be a banger. So
thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
This is awesome.
And thank you for letting me be on your channel.
Oh yeah, hijack it any day.
Hijack.
I'll come and hijack your studio.
Would love it. Don't forget, links below, right?
Absolutely, links below.
Massive discount that you're doing on these, so really appreciate it.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.